The story of Noah and the ark is a well-known one, even amongst people who never went to Sunday school when they were children, or even amongst those who never attend Sunday regularly. Noah is as well known as the other Old Testament heroes like David the giant slayer, or Joseph and his amazing multicolored coat. Like them, Noah has a notoriety all of his own. He's often perceived as a funny little man who, in the face of laughter and mocking of his neighbors, he built an ark and he filled it with a pair of as many creatures as he could get hold of, and then he went into lockdown with his family to avoid the devastation to be brought by the impending floods. The language and the content of the Noah story, the ark, the animals, and the destructive flood have entered into and remained as part of popular culture and popular idiom. As someone who myself never went to Sunday school and who came to Christian faith in my mid-20s, the story of Noah and the ark, to be found in chapters 6 to 9 in the book of Genesis in the Old Testament, is a story that has always held a certain fascination for me. And that fascination with a man and his family locked away for over a month inside their floating wooden home took on an increased significance for me when 3 months ago my family and I and our Springer Spaniel, and indeed all the other families in our street and all the inhabitants of the world and their pets, were forced to go into their own sort of lockdown. In March of this year, the story of Noah became even less of a folklore to me, became even more real to me. It became somehow less religious, somehow more relevant. Now I could empathize with a family and their animals who were cooped up in a confined, familiar space with no possibility of a daily walk for them, no possibility of fresh air or contact with other people or with the outside world. For me, during lockdown, Noah has become a model, if you like, of patient acceptance. He understood that the ark was his place of safety and that he would need to be certain before he left it to get back to his new normal life. And so he waited patiently until the time was right to emerge. With this past week seeing the gradual lifting of some of the lockdown restrictions, it similarly calls forth from each of us, I believe, measures of patience and wise, responsible decision-making as we too begin to emerge from our enforced hibernation, as the British Prime Minister referred to it as this week. Just as the floodwaters didn't recede as early as Noah had hoped, so this virus, this coronavirus, has not yet receded completely. In fact, even when the dove that Noah released returned to him with a freshly plucked olive leaf, a sign that new life was beginning to emerge, even then Noah wisely and cautiously waited for yet another 7 days before taking his first steps to emerge. Caution and mutual responsibility are good watchwords for people in the face of destructive forces. In the New Testament part of the Bible, we find some verses that say these words: "Everything is permissible for me, but not everything is beneficial." As our rights to go outside and our right to shop and our right to socialize again are in some measure restored to us, we do well to remind ourselves that our rights are not, however, our obligations. Our rights are rather responsibilities that we can exercise wisely or foolishly. And it seemed to me that it was Noah's restraint and Noah's patience and not his recklessness that subsequently led him to that place and that time when he could embrace the message of the rainbow, our newly imagined symbol of hope, symbol of the promise that better days will always lie ahead. And so may the God of storms, the God of viruses, the God of the rainbow, break through the fear and impatience of our darkness and transform them by the light of his love and his grace. Amen.